A big rumor indicates that EA will be bought soon. I will tell you what that means. We also learned about a lot of big 2026 titles this week. A new Avatar DLC is coming to coincide with the third movie, and way more gaming news to go over. So good that you're joining the weekly Sunday news roundup, and let's go. But first we have to touch on the talk of the week, Ananta. Maybe you've seen the 7-minute long trailer for this open world anime game that tries to be everything in one. The good news, despite having multiple characters that you play as and you switch between GTA style, this is not a gacha game. They are seemingly only charging for cosmetics and furniture. In the demo you could already walk into stores, try on clothing, or even buy a new car at the garage, so we will see how that evolves in the full release. But the big takeaway this week is that the game is real and not just an overly polished trailer. You're seeing footage here from Braxophone, who played the game at Tokyo Game Show, that of course also happened this week. Link to his video in the video description. Yeah, it's basically GTA anime, but with Spider-Man swinging in combat and even Watch Dogs elements. It's certainly impressive so far, but also a little too close to the games it borrows from. They straight up copied animations, like this anime boy has the same moveset as Symbiote Peter from Spider-Man 2. Bennyquo even made a video on Reddit comparing the Watch Dogs elements. Like, inspiration is fine, but it's cooler when studios add their own spin. Like, they are taking the Watch Dogs blackout feature, but adding some Tetris and other green pixels on the buildings instead. But this dodge roll and takeout animation is straight out of Sleeping Dogs. And yeah, this looks a lot like Uncharted, of course. Come on, you can do better. Sony does not seem to care for now. They are promoting the game on their own YouTube channel. I'm curious to hear your take, because I still want to try it. It's ambitious, it's fascinating, but I hope they do change those copied animations. And speaking of PlayStation, let's go over that recent state of play and way more gaming news. But first, the sponsor of this video got us a victory, Nikkei, that has a Resident Evil collaboration going on right now. This is the free sci-fi RPG shooting game from Stellar Blade developer Shift Up. It already has 45 million players and had many collaborations with franchises like Chainsaw Man and Nier Automata. And I like how there are now 3 characters from Resident Evil joining the game in brand new content featuring a mysterious mansion that we have to explore to learn more about the disappearance of the captain from the police unit. Ada Wong will be playable, just like Jill Valentine and also Claire Redfield, and there is a brand new outfit, the D-Killer Wife, a Secret Police. Nikkei features a lot of other story content where players can, for example, become a commander and strategically choose their squads. There's an awesome soundtrack and a lot of other characters to meet and play as. So totally download Nikkei for free via the special link in the video description to check the Resident Evil collaboration. This would really support the channel as well, so thanks for that. And now let's get back into it. So the new state of play opened with Saros gameplay, the Returnal spiritual successor from Housemarque. It's launching on March 20th. It looks like more Returnal, so I think if you love that game, you will be happy, but I'm not sure if it will speak to a new audience. A day earlier, on March 19th, we get Crimson Desert. I don't mind the delay out of 2025, because I want them to get this right. We saw a wolf mount now, a mech you can pilot, new bosses, and other playable characters. But we also still got a lot of questions about the open world. What will exploration be like? Hopefully that will be answered closer to launch. The biggest reveal though, Wolverine of course. It's alive, it's coming fall 2026, and Insomniac is not holding back on the bloody side of the character. We will visit multiple locations like Canada and Tokyo, with some rooftop traversal shown here. But yeah, this looks to be a more traditional, narrative-driven title. All the big PlayStation Studio games we had during the PS5 generation so far, like God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and soon Ghost of Yotei, you can really lose yourself in these games. You can spend tens of hours in their worlds if you want to. I am not expecting that for Wolverine. I think there will be less side content, less replayability. I hope I'm wrong, but so far Wolverine feels more like a shorter linear title. But I know many people don't care about this, and I totally get that. Like, I don't really care myself either, but I wanted to set the expectations right, because again, I do think it will be a slightly different title compared to other PlayStation Studios releases. Now of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and leave a like, that would really help me out. Subscribe as well, because we post one of these big gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. Time for quick shots, news stories I will go over quickly. We already learned about a new update for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora that of course adds the third person mode, something that many people, including myself, always wanted. But this week Ubisoft revealed a new story expansion called From the Ashes that is set a few weeks after the events of the new Fire and Ash movie. We will explore a brand new sub-region, face rogue Na'vi who are teaming up with the RDA, so finally we can battle Na'vi and not just the RDA. The DLC will cost $25 or is part of a $40 From the Ashes edition, which also includes the base game. Let me know if you will check it out in the comments down below. The third person update with New Game Plus drops on December 5th, while the expansion launches on December 19th, the same day as the third movie. We now know the prices for the ROG Xbox Ally. The best variant, which can play all the Xbox games, is set at $1,000 or €900 in Europe. And the wide model is $600 or €500. Yes, that's a steep price to bring the PC Game Pass library on the road, and keep in mind that it's the PC library only. Your Xbox purchases won't work on this device. Still, every game Xbox showed at the recent showcase works on the handheld, although I do think you need to get the X, so the more expensive variant for that. I went hands-on at Gamescom and it feels great. As a fan of the previous ROG Ally X, which I by the way used to play Assassin's Creed Shadows at 60 FPS and it still looks great. Like, I'm impressed by this device. This totally feels like an upgrade, but it's still way too expensive, of course, to be a mass market success. Now, pre-orders are already sold out though on the Xbox Store worldwide, though of course stock numbers are unclear, so maybe they sold 1,000 units or something. It's still available at other retailers and it officially launches on October 16th. This week, Kojima shared a first look at his next PlayStation stealth action game, Viscent. It's giving me James Bond meets Metal Gear Solid vibes, so really like it. The first cast members are also confirmed: Charlie Frazier, Don Lee, and Minami Hamabe. But this one is still far off. It looks to be the first PlayStation 6 title actually, because Kojima will first finish OD, his Xbox horror game with Jordan Peele, that just got a new teaser showing a character lighting candles before being grabbed by a mysterious figure. It's running on Unreal Engine 5 and I'm guessing a 2027 release. It should be very scary. Xbox is heavily involved on the technical side, so I expect it on PC and Xbox first, with maybe PlayStation later. Because another interesting news tidbit is that yes, Forza Horizon 6 is real. It's taking place in Japan. That's why they announced it at the Tokyo Game Show, but the description notes that it will launch first on Xbox Series X and S consoles and PC in 2026. And PlayStation 5 post-launch. For Indiana Jones, they immediately said, yo, it's going to be the year after, but them saying post-launch, maybe it's later than 2027, which would be crazy. Forza Horizon 5 was a huge success on PS5 this year, with sales estimate being at 3 million, more than other third-party games on PlayStation 5 this year, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. So maybe Microsoft is looking at that and thinking we can launch it later and still make a ton of money, so no need to rush, and first have it as an exclusive that might push people to Game Pass. Or the other likely scenario is that Playground Games simply doesn't have enough time to port the game to PS5 and PS5 Pro to make the 2026 launch. But yeah, big year for that studio, as Fable is also planned to launch in 2026. Xbox is really going crazy next year. Also Gears of War E-Day, potentially the Halo 1 remake in 2026. Why do I have a feeling that Fable might get delayed again? Either way, 2026 is going to be crazy. I will do a react video on it very soon, so curious to hear your take in the comments down below. Now time for the rumor roundup, where I look at the biggest leaks of the week and I give stars, with 3 being I believe it and 1 being let's take this with a huge grain of salt. It's a big one. The Wall Street Journal reports that EA is nearing a roughly $50 billion deal to go private, backed by investors including Silver Lake, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, and Jared Kushner's firm Affinity Partners. So what this means is that they would buy all the publicly traded shares. EA would then be controlled by a smaller group of investors. There would be no more quarterly earnings pressure, instead a focus on a long-term strategy. And Silver Lake has done this before. Back in 2013, they took Dell private for $24.9 billion and shifted its strategy away from consumer PCs towards enterprise IT. Then in 2018, they brought it back to the public market and it was valued at nearly $70 billion. so almost triple the value. But is a success story like that realistic for EA? Because I would argue that the publisher already has a really strong position. They got the yearly sports franchises, plus big live service games like The Sims, Apex Legends, and soon Battlefield 6. Add in some single player releases here and there like Star Wars Jedi 3, Iron Man and Mass Effect, and you got a pretty great pipeline. But according to the New York Times, these private investors see opportunity in EA's suite of IP, porting some of these marquee titles to mobile devices and making them free to play, but then charging players for certain features in the game could help them reach a wider audience of new users. On paper that sounds great for growth, especially because mobile is huge outside of Western markets, but the reality is much harsher. EA already shut down Apex Legends after less than a year, and they also cancelled the Battlefield mobile project. And most recently we learned that Destiny Rising only made $9 billion in the first 20 days, but Bungie alone got paid $100 million just for the license by NetEase. So once you add the marketing and development cost, they're making a huge loss right now. So that raises the question, is AAA2 mobile actually viable, or is it just too expensive for too little return? And remember, these kind of buyouts usually come with restructuring and layoffs because investors want to make the company more profitable as quickly as possible. Combine that with the heavy debt, since much of the purchase money is borrowed, and yeah, you can see a lot of risk here. I'm giving 3 stars. I totally believe these talks are happening, but we will have to wait and see if it actually crosses the finish line. I hope it's not the case. I think banking on mobile games for anything is not smart. So yeah, let's hope for EA's future that this is not happening. Of course, really curious to hear your takes in the comments down below. So this coming week is all about Ghost of Yotei. It's of course launching on October 2nd. Expect spoiler-free tips and tricks here on the channel. I'll be streaming the game as well, spoiler-free, so I hope you check that out. Of course, a Monday stream where we discuss all the gaming news will be up on the React channel. A countdown timer will be up in the video description, so I hope to see you there. You can check out my Yotei review if you haven't already, completely spoiler-free, by clicking on the screen. A like and subscribe would be awesome, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.